Good morning. Look at that. Look at that. All these messages coming through. Hi. I'm early. I'm early for work. So I'm gonna put you right there. And we can chat for a minute. I was gonna say, I'm early. I was singing for you guys. I was singing. I was. I was like, I'm early, I'm early. Oh, she's holding up 19 like she's a girl in a boxing ring. That was fucking great. I can't wait to go in there and give a shit for that. She's gonna laugh. She's gonna laugh. She's gonna laugh. So, y'all feel this shift? And I think it's gonna be a nice day. I think my mom said it was gonna be a nice day. I mean, it certainly fucking looks like it's gonna be a nice day. Happy new moon. Is that why I feel this shift? We got a new moon? I'm sorry, guys. I have been like out of it. You're missing me in my lives. I'm missing you. Um, it's just been like chaotic. New moon today? No way. Is that why I feel this shift? Holy shit and balls. I'm just like, thank you, spirit. Thank you. Not even thank you, spirit. Well, thank you, spirit, because it's spirit, right? But fucking thank you, planets. Like, the fuck kind of funk did they have my ass in? Like, not kosher, not cool. So sorry to bother you. I'm supposed to work something on Sunday. I ain't fucking working on Sunday. Someone just hit me up to see if I'd work on Sunday. Today's the Pisces new moon. Oh, fuck. Well, happy new moon. The chaos was just, it's too much. It's over. It's like, it's just, fuck, man. Like, I even have like a little anxiety because of the shift, which is strange. The new moons don't usually do that to me at all. But this funk was like, I fucking had enough of that shit, man. It lasted a little while. I mean, I typically am really good about pulling myself out of like certain stuff. And I did pull myself out of a lot of stuff, believe it or not. But like, I wouldn't say it was like super hard to. I think I think just clearing a lot of karma in general. You know what I mean? It was exhausting. So, um, so there's that. You know. But happy new moon. Very exciting. It makes sense. Like typically on my way to work, like I woke up this morning, it was kind of like icy out. I'm like, that's weird. Must have, not weird, it's New England. I'm like, it must have rained. And by the time I got out to the car, like the sun was kind of shining. And typically pre-moon, I thought it was like the 4th. I'll have to look. Could be today, I don't know. I was gonna say typically the sun came out. I thought I just saw. Anywho, I don't know what I was gonna say. Something typically, but I'm just happy for the shift, you know? How do I deal with when you have a person and you read tarot? Do you look in on them? No. It's just, it's there. I can see certain things, and I know if it's me personally, um, that's a tough question to answer because it's like calling out every reader, okay? And it's not a bad thing, okay? It's just being a reader is basically calling out your story. I mean, it's a given. It's certain, not to a T, you know, but with the way I read energy, and that's why, to be quite honest with you, and I've said this before, um, and I don't know why we're touching base on this. I know you mentioned it. Typically, I wouldn't right now, but it's probably because of the new moon. Um, there's always residuals. There's always something. The story will always stay, you know. Whether it was experience from 5 years ago, whether it was 2 weeks ago. I never read on the person though. I did that once with my catalyst, and that's what got me to start understanding tarot. Um, and when it comes to other people, no fucking way. It's me personally. I don't want to know. Like it's just that simple. And there is certain things that spirit will keep me. Like for instance, like for Patreon last week, like I did a continuation of this and that, and it never even posted. Um, and it's something big went down, and spirit will keep me out of it sometimes. And I do know how to distance myself. Like when I feel shady and it's shady, it's fucking shady, you know. Um, but there'll always be a piece of my story within a reading, whether it's me, whether it's them, whether they need to learn a lesson, the person they're dealing with, vice versa, whether it's my children. Um, for people who say they can't resonate with the story, some way, some they can, whether it was 3 years ago or this, and whether it kind of makes sense at the time is where you're at with that person mentally or physically, you know? So that's the hardest thing for me being a tarot reader. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I feel like I had to stop thinking about XYZ, not like any particular person, but for those who have been with me for a long time, I've had this discussion with you guys, you know. Um it wrecked me, it brought me down, it's emotional, it's draining, and it's not about me protecting my energy per se. You know, I work with karma, and it's healing energy and certain stuff, right? So no matter how much protection or protecting I do, that energy is still going to get the best of me, because if I'm learning lessons along the way and I have strength and I know my value and all the other stuff that I've taught, it becomes extremely frustrating and heartbreaking to continuously read the same story because people don't want to be authentic, or people are in denial, or people are blind and they don't want to see it, you know. um it's tough. And then when you start seeing it on the board, oh, they're waking up, they're seeing this, that still takes months, because it doesn't happen overnight like that, you know. So it's so incredibly tough, you know. um so there's not one reader out there that would not agree, you know. It's just me personally, that's how I was able to rise. That was how I was able to teach and guide, you know. So I don't want to speak for all tarot readers, but a majority of that are healers and light workers and star seeds, and it is what it is. That energy will get the best of us. It will bring us down. You know how many lessons and shit we have to learn before like we can settle. It's insane. It's insane. It's a lot. It's a lot of work. And that's why I was like, all right, let's do transits to transits. Let's work with this. Let's work with that. Um, and even that's going to be tough. And guys, you can't, everybody wants to ignore the past or sweep shit under the rug. And it's just, it's not a fucking thing, you know? So that's why I'm a big advocate for working through things and sticking through things. And it doesn't always go in my favor, but I don't go into something thinking something's going to go into my favor either. Like, I'm not a vindictive person. I don't manipulate energy. I won't play with spells. I won't fuck with shit because that shit's temporary for one. Okay, it's not gonna bring you happiness if you're focused on other things that don't serve you. For two, I mean, there's so many reasons on why, you know. So my story doesn't always quite go down like everybody else's story, for sure. And there's plenty of times in the last year that I can clearly see on the board my story, my kids' story, my best friend's stories, my ex's stories, because people don't want to own their shit. And then when they do, the dynamic changes, which is nice, you know? So that's what that's like for me personally. It fucking rocked me. But it taught me a lot, you know? For the longest time I had like the whole got up too with like, I don't want to read the same shit. I don't want to keep teaching and saying the same shit. But, and trust me, I still don't. Um, and I do kind of feel like that's wrong of me because I have a lot of wisdom and knowledge there. But I think because there's still so much pain attached to a lot of that, even though I've moved past it, it's still there. So I don't know how to really explain that. I really don't want to get like too much more into it. But it's not a bad thing, but it's exhausting. Um, and I've been saying for years and years and years, like, I know tarot is not what I'll be doing the rest of my life, even if I'm like, I don't know how to explain it, but for those who have been with me for a long time, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, being the next, you know, Jane Fonda on YouTube and this and that, like, that shit's still gonna come through, guys. And I think at certain times we're like, oh, it's here, it's right around the corner and this and that. And next thing you know, it takes 2 years to get there, or it takes 5 years to get there, or, you know, you get in certain funks and it's just, it's life, you know? Um, I think when something is meant to be, it is most definitely meant to become in that thought, you know, that creative gesture or marketing, or, you know, you definitely have to be in a point in your life where you have to go through different experiences in order to shine your light or stand on that stage, or, you know, there has to be, just because you've mastered certain things, you have to be knowledgeable on all the other bubbles that are floating around that one subject. You know, God forbid I got up on a podium and, yeah, I can rant about this, and, you know, be, you know, like, holy shit, who is this woman? Um, you can't be thrown off guard. You can't get on a podium and think you're not going to be challenged, or your challenger's not going to try to hit you up with an opposite subject, or, you know what I'm saying? So it does make sense in a way. It's just, it's painful, you know? And I do feel like everybody goes through awakenings. And I do feel like in the last few months, I had to go through like another spiritual awakening, like another Rise of the Phoenix type scenario. And I was like, what the fuck? For real? Why? Why? Well, I'll find out before you know it. Like this morning, typically on the way into work, I always listen to YouTube. It's my time to catch up on YouTube, the way into work and the way home. And Pandora came on, and it's just Pandora just doesn't come on like that. You know what I mean? And it was just like such the perfect little lineup of songs, you know, and songs I haven't even heard in years. So it was nice. But I do feel the anxiety, which is not typically what I get. So I don't think the anxiety is going to subside like that per se, because when you're going into new energy, it's going to linger, and whether you're aware of why you're feeling the anxiety or not. Like my anxiety is here, but it's like because I know newness is here. Whether I create it, whether somebody brings it towards me, no matter how it goes down. So I know it's a pretty big shift. It's more than just a new moon, you know? It's a pretty fucking big shift. And on top of it, it's a very intuitive new moon, okay? So your dreams, your intuition, this is typically where I'd say in the next couple weeks to follow your gut, and your mind might battle you. I'm not gonna lie. Your gut's gonna tell you one thing, your soul is gonna tell you one thing, but your mind is gonna battle you. You know, um, but push through. And if you're pushing through with somebody, you know, push through together on the right page. Make sure you're on the right page. Make sure there's no gray area. Make sure you're not confused about a situation. Make sure you're not making the situation harder than it needs to be. You're not adding to this, adding to that, you know? So I know for me personally, this shift has arrived. Whether I leave the past in the past, a new person comes in, maybe they're still regarding my past, or a new person and it's past life. Fuck, I don't know. But I know it's not going to be like, I know it's not going to be like, I still have that pregnancy test in my purse from months ago. I know it's not going to be easy going. We're all pushing through fucking karma. You know what I mean? Shit needs to be fucking addressed. And shit, look at the read we did last night with the fucking four corners. The fuck? So that's going to be tough because you're going to want to follow your gut when it comes to certain stuff. But you also got to be smart about how you're proceeding, because you don't want to get to the point where you follow your gut for weeks and then the energy subsides, and then it's like all this shit that you didn't talk about is gonna come up, when it's like, why not just talk about it now, so in 3 weeks when the energy shifts you can be in a different scenario. Like, you just don't want to worry, and I think I've been teaching this for months, of not having clarity when it comes to certain stuff. It's a fucking given. It won't get you nowhere. You can't grow if you don't have insight on a situation. It's common sense. But I don't think it's common sense for everybody. That's the thing, especially if they're just learning about their karma, or they're just dealing with their karma. Like, it's a lot. And a lot of you are dealing with people that are having endings with other people, but yet you've been in their life. That's it. That can't fucking feel good either. you know, because then you have them where they have their ups and downs and they're just clearing this and they're just clearing that. And it's like, you don't want to push, but they might feel like you're being pushy because there's so much pressure on their end. But there's so many things that went down in the last year or months and months that haven't been spoken about. And if shit was actually spoken about when it should have been spoken about, when it was on your mind, but you chose not to speak it, you wouldn't be in this situation. So it's like the situation keeps getting tougher. And if you're dealing with energy like that, that's tough too, you know. But everybody goes through what they go through, and when they're supposed to go through it, and that's a lot to deal with too. But for the people on the other end, it's fucking hard. It's fucking hard, you know. And it's like, it's so hard to watch somebody go through this shit when you got someone's back, but yet you've already seen this shit and they didn't want to see it because their ego was in the way, or the pride, or they didn't want to make decisions, they didn't want to do, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, and then it's like everything hits, and it's like realizing, you know, things they want and stuff like that, but it just doesn't come at you like that. Like, does that make sense? So it's just really tough on the other person emotionally. And it's not like, oh, I told you so. Like, it's not like that. There's no judgment. There's no, you know, it's like we all learn our lessons when we learn our lessons. But if I'm in your life, you got to do something about it. You know, it's the only way to move forward. A lot of people feel like, oh, I gotta find myself, I need my happy, I need to be solo, I need to do this and that. And it's like, nah, if somebody came into your life at the right time, they're meant to be in your life. There's two ways to go about a journey. A complete breakdown and you're on your own and you have nobody, because that's the way it's supposed to be. But if you're lucky enough, and I do feel like if you're lucky enough to have somebody to have your back through stuff like that, like a typical like best friend, but you're opposite sex or same sex, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, that's because you needed that energy to take you out of a toxic, unhealthy, trauma bonding situation or this and that. So I've had situations where it's like they come back, me personally, and it's like, I just want to be single, I just want this, I want that. And it's like, I get what you're saying, but that's a lie, and you're lying to yourself. Because if you really wanted to be solo and you wanted to be single and you wanted to get to know each other, and I mean, you wanted to get to know yourself well enough, you would have took me out of the fucking scenario. So I don't want to talk to your fucking ego. And it's not me being an asshole, it's not me not loving that person. It's just, I won't tolerate it, because that energy will bring me down, that frustration will bring me down. So I got to take myself out of that fucking scenario. Like, you got to be smart. And it's not be smarter than that person, it's be smart for your own fucking sanity, you know? So there's a lot. There's no question. You know, you can't say I want to be single and I want to figure out me and I want to do this if you're purposely drawing and touching base with somebody. It's lies. You know, if that person came into your life, there's a reason. So basically, you're pushing somebody away. And if your journey, and it's only going to be harder, and that person will realize that, but it might not be months down the road or a year down the road. So you don't want to get entangled in that either. This These scenarios are all going to play out differently for everybody according to their Akashic records. Have a great day. I know I got to go in a minute too. I hope I'm not 9:30. Pretty sure I'm 9:45 today. Shit fucking hours. Yeah, 9:45. So it's however shit's going to play out for you guys and how you decide to let things roll. I don't think anybody from my past is a bad person. And that's not me being a loving person. That's, you know, I don't think anybody's a bad person in even all my experiences. It's just a matter how something goes down and how it plays out. And it still doesn't make them a bad person. If they're not in your life, they're not meant to be in your life. But people can't leave you in your life, or try to have you in your life because it suits them. and when it suits them. The fuck? Get the fuck out of here. And that it didn't take me time to figure that out. It didn't take me time to figure out self-worth like that. It's lessons and experiences and trauma, and I'm so sick of people like, oh my god, you can be so strong and blah 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 blah, and it's like, man, that strength broke us, and yeah, it made us stronger. But you think we don't want somebody to have our back? You think we don't want somebody to hug us and tell us things are going to be okay? You don't think we want somebody to support us? And you get what I'm saying? It's naive of them. Oh, you can handle it. I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't have to put you where you need to, like where I need to be for you to get to where you need to be. If you're in my life, you're in my life for a fucking reason, you know? So everybody's scenario is going to play out differently. I hope you guys have a great day too. So it's not the end of the world, guys. You know, if you're dealing with somebody who doesn't get it, or they can't see eye to eye, or they won't give you the time of day, or this and that, and you know, don't misinterpret their text messages and I want to see you and blah blah blah. Don't misinterpret that as, oh my god, I know he or she really wants to see me and this is nah. Whether they're aware, it's like they just need someone to fill a void or your attention. It could be so much more than that, but if they can't speak that and say it's so much more than that, you can't continuously tell yourself they need time or they need this. No, you would not be in their fucking life here and now if that was the case. It takes time to heal. It takes time to get through this. It takes time to build. But don't be naive by what society teaches you. You know? It's a lot, but I love you guys. I hope you have a kick-ass day. Enjoy the shift. And I guarantee there'll be some anxiety. But just remind yourself that anxiety is creating change. The way you go about things is creating change. It's going to be what's best for you. And it's going to be a big deal because there's an anxiety attached to it. It's not going to be the average, oh, yay, change is here. And one of the songs I posted, I think she mentioned something about, could have been Icy Girl. I haven't heard it in such a long time, but like how she keeps her sanity is she keeps moving. And it's so true. So if the anxiety is so intense, it's because you're staying in one situation. No, you gotta move. You got to move it, move it. What's that, Madagascar? You got to move it, move it. All right, y'all. I love you. We'll talk when we talk. Bye. Oh, probably tomorrow morning. I gotta go see Bruce. Take my nail appointments at 8. So 9:30ish. And then I got the healer thing later in the day. So I'll touch base with you guys then. I love you guys.